Yamaha chase desperate gamble at Sepang. The atmosphere at the Sepang International Circuit during the 2026 Shakedown test was unlike anything the paddock has experienced in 2 decades. For years, the Iwata factory stood as the final guardian of the inline-4 engine philosophy, a commitment to corner speed that many experts believed was becoming a relic of a bygone era. However, as the garages opened on day one, a guttural, aggressive roar confirmed the rumors that had been swirling for months. The YZR M1 as we knew it was gone. Yamaha has finally surrendered to the V4 architecture, a pivot so massive it represents the most significant technical shift since the dawn of the four-stroke era in 2002. This isn't just a mid-season upgrade. It is a total structural redesign of the most successful Japanese bike in history. The stakes could not be higher. If this project fails to bridge the gap to the European manufacturers, Yamaha's long-term viability in the premier class will face unprecedented scrutiny. The paddock is currently witnessing a manufacturer that has been pushed to the brink, now choosing to burn its old identity to the ground in hopes of rising from the ashes as a title contender once again. No one inside the paddock expected what would unfold next, and it would change everything for him, his team, and the entire season. Jack Miller entered the 2026 Shakedown test with the weight of a precarious career on his shoulders. After a challenging tenure with KTM that saw him marginalized in favor of younger talent, the Australian veteran found himself at a crossroads that many believed would lead to his exit from the sport. However, the decision by Yamaha to bring him into the fold was a calculated strategic move that is already yielding staggering dividends. Miller's extensive history with V4 machinery, having mastered both the Ducati Desmostis and the KTM RC16, made him the V4 whisperer Yamaha desperately needed to translate their new power delivery. While others were still acclimatizing to the radical ergonomics of the new prototype, Miller went on the offensive from the very first session. His signature aggressive style, characterized by late, heavy braking and a brutal flick into the apex, seemed perfectly attuned to the Yamaha V4's characteristics. On the second day, Miller stunned observers by recording the fastest time of the session, a result that sent a clear signal to his rivals. The Aussie underdog isn't just a test rider, he is a weapon. Reports from inside the garage suggest that Miller's feedback on rear traction and engine braking has already solved technical hurdles that had plagued Yamaha's previous inline-4 development for years. His performance indicates a man who has found a bike that finally speaks his language, turning a last-chance opportunity into a dominant statement of intent. The thrill from Townsville is no longer just a spectator to the frontrunners. He is setting the pace, forcing the entire paddock to rethink the 2026 hierarchy. But behind that calm expression, pressure was building fast as the realization of the technical gap began to set in. The arrival of Toprak Razgatlioglu in the MotoGP paddock has been the subject of speculation for years, but his performance at Sepang proved that the wait was worth it. The three-time World Superbike champion didn't just participate in the test, he disrupted it. Known for his stop-and-go riding style and a level of front-end control that defies traditional physics, Toprak brought a new energy to the Yamaha garage. However, his presence has also triggered an intense technical debate regarding the old V4 versus the new V4 prototypes. While Miller was focusing on the cutting-edge 2026 development, Toprak spent significant time on a more refined version of the engine, using his legendary braking ability to find time where others found only risk. His entry speeds into the final corner at Sepang were among the highest ever recorded by a Yamaha rider, yet the bike remained eerily stable. This has created a fascinating technical dilemma for the engineers. Toprak's feedback suggests that while the raw power of the new engine is undeniable, the feel and stability of the slightly older prototype might be more race-ready for a sprint style of riding. The tension in the paddock is palpable as observers watch the Turkish star navigate the transition from production-based tires to the Michelin prototypes. He isn't just learning the bike, he is testing the limits of the V4's chassis under extreme stress. Some insiders claim that Toprak's data has highlighted a chatter issue during high-speed cornering that the factory riders hadn't yet identified. As the test progressed, it became clear that Toprak isn't here to be a rookie in anything but name. He is a title threat who is forcing Yamaha to choose between two very different development paths. Yet the real turning point happened away from the cameras, deep within the data screens of the engineering trucks. While Miller and Toprak were grabbing headlines with their blistering pace, Fabio Quartararo was engaged in a much more difficult battle. The 2021 world champion found himself at the helm of the most advanced YZR M1 ever built, yet his body language throughout the test was a study in frustration. The new V4 architecture has drastically changed the DNA of the bike, shifting it away from the smooth, high corner speed machine that Fabio has perfected over his career. Several times during the afternoon sessions, Fabio was seen in lengthy, animated discussions with his technical crew, gesturing toward the front end of the bike. The core of the conflict lies in feedback. The V4 is undeniably faster on the straights, putting Yamaha on par with Ducati's top speed for the first time in a decade, but it lacks the surgical precision in the middle of the corner that Fabio relies on. There is a growing narrative in the paddock that the bike is being developed to favor the V4 style of Miller and Toprak, potentially leaving the Golden Boy isolated. As he watched his teammates consistently clock faster long-run simulations, the psychological pressure was evident. This isn't just about a single lap time, it's about the future of his relationship with the team. Rumors suggest that contract negotiations for 2027 are stalling as Fabio waits to see if the engineers can refine the wild beast into something he can control. The internal rift is no longer a secret. It is a race against time to ensure their star rider doesn't lose faith in the project just as it finally finds the power he spent years asking for. And from that moment, nothing would ever be the same for the mechanics who had spent years chasing a phantom problem. The most significant technical takeaway from the Sepang Shakedown wasn't the top speed, but the rear traction miracle. For half a decade, Yamaha riders have complained about a lack of grip when exiting slow corners, a flaw that allowed the European bikes to pull away with ease. However, the data collected from Miller's bike during his 157.908 run showed a revolutionary improvement. By moving to the V4 engine, Yamaha has been able to reposition the center of gravity and alter the swing arm pivot points in a way that was physically impossible with the wider inline-4 block. This has allowed the bike to put its power down with an efficiency that has shocked rival engineers. The bike no longer has that wild feel of the previous generation, one mechanic was overheard saying. This consistency is crucial for the long runs, where Yamaha has traditionally suffered from severe tire degradation. Miller's long-run simulation showed a drop-off of less than 0.3 seconds over 15 laps, a statistic that should terrify the rest of the grid. However, this success has also brought paddock whispers regarding the legality of their latest aero package. Some competitors have pointed to the intricate winglet configurations on the Yamaha's lower fairing, speculating that they may be pushing the boundaries of the 2026 technical regulations. While no official disputes have been filed, the tension is mounting. Yamaha is no longer a supporting team trying to survive the season. They have engineered a weapon that targets the very heart of the European dominance. The miracle at Sepang is the result of a total technical surrender that has transformed into a strategic masterstroke, leaving the rest of the field scrambling to analyze the black bike before the first official race of the season. What happened after that left even his closest team members stunned as the final timing screens flickered to life. As the shakedown test concluded, the message from the humidity of Malaysia was unmistakable. Yamaha has declared war. The final day of testing wasn't just about collecting data, it was a demonstration of force. Jack Miller's dominance at the top of the sheets, combined with Toprak's rapid adaptation and the sheer top speed potential shown by Quartararo, has completely shifted the 2026 championship narrative. The Yamaha V4 is no longer a myth or a desperate experiment. It is a reality that has moved the Japanese manufacturer back into the conversation of title contenders. However, the twist that followed the final session would change everything. As the teams packed their crates, reports surfaced that Yamaha is already preparing a version B chassis for the official test, one that attempts to merge Miller's V4 aggression with Fabio's traditional corner speed. This suggests an unprecedented level of development speed that we haven't seen from a Japanese factory in the modern era. The competition this season is sure to be far more brutal than anyone imagined. The European manufacturers, who have enjoyed a period of unchallenged dominance, now face a rival that has nothing left to lose and a technical package that is evolving by the hour. Jack Miller is ready to fight, the Yamaha V4 is ready for war, and the hierarchy of power in MotoGP has been permanently disrupted. The official tests are looming, and for the first time in a long time, the eyes of the world aren't on the red bikes from Italy, they are on the black machines from Iwata.